The Bank of Canada has delivered a bit of relief and a little fresh anxiety to Canadians. It is leaving its benchmark borrowing rate alone, and it's throwing icy water on any expectations of lower rates anytime soon. Jeannie Lee joins us to break down today's messaging and to take over from speaking for me. Okay, what is the bank saying, Jeannie?
Well, you know, it is a confusing time, Arthi, for the economy and for the bank that has to watch how it steers the economy. It sees inflation, yes, that is cooling down. The rate of inflation is cooling nicely, and yet parts of the economy just are not slowing their roll as you might expect, given the fact that we've had so many interest rate hikes so far. So we have the job market that's still churning out jobs, wage increases much higher than what the bank would like it to be comfortable with, and overall you have expectations of lower interest rates sometime soon. We've been building that up in the last little while, especially with the failure of some of the banks in the U.S., which has caused some anxiety. So some were thinking, hey, you know, the bank's going to have to cut rates. Well, the bank governor, Tiff Macklem, threw cold water on that. Have a listen.
Well, the decision we had to take today was what to do with interest rates today. What I can say about our deliberations is that based on the information we have today, the implied expectation in the market that there are going to be that we're going to be cutting our policy rate later in the year, that doesn't look today like the most likely scenario to us.
So anyone with a variable rate mortgage, a line of credit, those loans that are tied directly to the bank's policy rate can at least be somewhat relieved that rates are not going up as they have relentlessly in the last 13 months. Let's take a look at this chart, for example. It shows how the most recent rate moves of the Bank of Canada really started back in March of last year. Before that, that key rate was at now, it seems impossible, but it was there for a long time, 1/4%, and then 8 successive rate hikes has brought it to 4.5%, where it is staying for now, and that was reiterated today in the decision. But 4.5%, it's going to take some time to work all of those various rate hikes through the system and have an effect on the economy.
And this was also a question that we heard to the governor today, the possible recession. What about that? Does the bank see that happening?
It, at this point, does not. And what it does see is that growth will continue. It'll slow down, but it won't go into the negative, which is a recession, if it lasts long enough. And so the thing is, though, it's very delicate. You have wages rising faster than expected. You have this banking crisis in the U.S., which has already had an effect on our biggest trading partner. And then you have all kinds of other factors that are, just out there. And this is what the bank had to say about all of that. As more households renew their mortgages at higher rates and restrictive monetary policy, that means the rate hikes that we've seen, works its way through the economy more broadly, consumption is expected to moderate this year. So things will slow. But softening foreign demand is expected also to restrain exports and business investment. So more slowing growth. Overall GDP growth, though, is projected to be weak through the remainder of this year before strengthening gradually next year. So it'll be slowing down, but it'll never fall, according to the Bank of Canada's current view, into the negative, into a recession. And things, in fact, will rise again next year. So that's the definition of a soft landing. But, it's all mitigated by the fact that where do different things land, and that's why the bank is expecting to hold rates higher for longer until it can sort everything out and make sure that everything goes as planned.
Thanks for this, Jeannie.
Okay.